and you're eating your soup.
Our roundtable discussions are not working so well.
So here, I have a couple topics. Do you want to run through some of these real quick? Like 10, 15 minutes? Best coach in the league, who you taking the best player MLS opening weekend? Do you want to run through a couple of them?
If you ask them, but we'll make it like kind of like quick hitters kind of. We'll get through them.
Yeah,
quick.
that's what I'm saying.
All right,
just
go ahead.
quick hits.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, hypotheticals, okay? Hypotheticals. You can draft, you're starting a franchise. You can draft a player or a coach right now to start your franchise. Gordo, who are you taking?
I am
in the world? In the world?
No, MLS, Major League Soccer.
Okay.
It's what is it? A supplemental draft? Supplemental draft, but no players are protected. You can take whoever you want, coach. And you know what? We'll leave it coach or player.
I'm taking Carlos Vela. I love
You're
this
taking
guy.
Carlos Vela.
I'm taking him. I don't know how old he is, but I'm taking him. You know, he might be 37.
He's like 32.
Idea. He's like 32, right? Dude, I think this guy's phenomenal. I haven't seen him this year. I think last year, obviously, he took off because of COVID, but the year, I mean, this guy does whatever he wants, dude. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's just a talent that you can't replace, and you got to have X factors to win games in this league.
With the most boring answer ever in the history of the league, Alan Gordon. Thank you very much. Sal Zizzo.
If I had player or coach?
Player or coach. You're the owner. You get to start and you can cherry pick. I'll throw GMs in there too. You want a GM?
Oh, wow.
You can take any individual in the league right now to start your franchise. Who's your number one pick?
Jeez, I'd probably... Oh man, that's tough. But could I bring back Jesse Marsh? Because he would be my pick.
No, gotta be in the league right now. In the league today.
I'll bring him back. I'd make him the coach. But in the league today.
He's the owner, dude. You can't put rules on it. You can't give him the power and take it away.
Well, based on the Super League, you absolutely can. So
you can. True.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go with dude, I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
I'm full of them. I'll toss the
other. I'm trying to think of like an obvious answer, but I feel like if I think of someone, I'll probably be forgetting of someone that's even better. You know.
I'm gonna go opposite. So I'll take a GM number one. I'm taking Garth Lagerwey. Garth Lagerwey, number one.
That's a dumb pick.
Is it? Is it a dumb pick? This guy has all he does is build successful franchises. He won a cup with a no-name franchise in Real Salt Lake with the smallest budget in the league, and then goes to Seattle and just builds a dynasty. And now he's got arguably the best franchise in North America. Yeah, I'm taking it. Thank you. That's the right answer. So
I mean, come on, dude. He won in Salt Lake. Good for you. Okay, a lot of teams have done that. They won 1 year. Okay, they won one year. And so like a lot of teams in MLS have won 1 year. So you can't put him aside. I don't want to knock him and say he's not doing anything well because he is. But then he goes to Seattle at the right time. They give him and at this point they were the power club who was throwing money first. So
they were losing though. We were beating them. They hadn't won.
What, in Seattle?
Yeah.
How many years had they been in the league?
I mean, they were winning Open Cups before.
They've been winning forever, dude. Forever. They've always won.
Yes,
they were winning A-Leagues all the time. Yes, they came in. They didn't win for like 2 years, and they were the best, startup franchise at that point. They were the ones that proved that you could win the first year, if I remember correct. They weren't shit. They were winning, and then he goes in. He gets all the money. He can do whatever he wants. Best stadium, all the stuff.
All the dollars.
He got all the dollars, dude. And they're printing money, and everybody wants to play there. So, I mean, like, yes, he's done a good job, but it's dumb. You take him to somewhere else, then it's a wasted pick.
Well, wait, why? How is this a wasted pick? You're giving me. I'll agree that a lot of clubs win one-offs, right? So. Yeah. Based on that, Garth Lagerwey is not my pick, but he took that and then he went again. And what he's done on a consistent basis in Seattle, no one else is doing.
No, I think he's good. I think it's a stupid first pick. Okay, I think he's good.
That's
It's
that's
just a
kind of where I'm
No.
at. It's very it
You
it's,
went with a 33-year-old Mexican international that doesn't play for his country anymore, and we're not sure how long he's going to stay in the league. So
I'll tell you
no,
what.
good
I'll
pick.
go with a Seattle forward, Rui Diaz, who, obviously there's probably some better players in there, but he's fresh off my mind because we recently played Seattle in a friendly a week and a half ago, and he came in at half and was a handful. So
you gotta have a goal scorer. You gotta have a goal scorer.
So
And
I mean,
is he that good?
he's as advertised. Yeah, very good, very quick. Kind of.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
like
he
one of
was-
those small shifty guys that always seem to cause problems, like a similar to like a Giovinco or like a David Villa like esque type guy.
All right. So let me give you this one. You have all the coaches in the league right now. You're starting a franchise. You pick a coach. Who are you taking?
I'd probably go with like
Who's the best coach in the league right now?
I mean, you can
You got some. You got
gotta
some
throw
incredible names in the league.
you gotta throw Caleb Porter in the mix, winning 2 MLS Cups with 2 different teams. I think that's
Gosh, I
pretty
mean,
good. And both in his second year or whatever
Dude,
it
you
was,
got
third
Caleb
year.
Porter, you got Peter Vermees, you got Bob
Yeah.
Bradley, you got Bruce Arena. I mean, those are
Yeah.
just the obvious ones. Those are the obvious names.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Even
Listen,
Curtin over there at Philadelphia.
Jim Curtin for me is probably my pick
Is he?
for me. And granted, he's a Philly boy, and I'm a Philly boy, and I love to support that. But what he's doing right now, similar to probably my line of thinking with Garth on competing on the stage that he's competing on, with the budget that they're competing in with Philadelphia and the way that the Union operates. Dude, it's pretty impressive what he's done. And I will also say that the ownership group giving him the leash that he's had to build what he has is also paramount to finding that success, which we don't see in professional sports right now.
He would have been gone at 90% of
100%.
franchises.
Super-
90% of those clubs. Right.
Super pumped
But-
for a guy like us. Jim was a guy like us. He was one of us, and he went and he took a club and he did we talked to Pablo 2 weeks ago about this. Pablo, Jim did the same thing. He went into this super young, and Pablo told us, what it felt like to be in that locker room coaching, right? And he stumbled through a lot of years, but they stuck with him, and he's doing fantastic, which is great. I hate, something about Caleb Porter rubs me wrong, but you're not wrong, Sal. And he was kind of going to be my pick as well, because you got to give a guy credit who, can switch clubs and win games. And so
and even Schmetzer always getting it done in the playoffs with Seattle. I mean, I know he's more the traditional kind of player manager and lets his assistants kind of do the tactical side of it, but just as a leader for the club of Seattle, I mean, he's gone to the finals almost every year. It's kind of crazy.
Are you taking either of the old dogs in Bob or Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've heard we've heard a lot of stories about both of them, and Gargs, you were there with Bruce, and he does things that are super amazing. And neither one of us is going to say that he's the best coach in the league. And that's the question. And cause he's not, but could he be my pick? Yes.
Yeah.
And he might be, dude, because this is a guy that's going to win. He's going to win.
You'd be an idiot to ever bet against Bruce. Would you ever bet against Bruce?
No,
you never would.
You can bring a franchise like New England from the dead and just know that they'll be successful under Bruce.
He wins everywhere.
Yeah,
he wins everywhere. He's not a great coach, but he's a brilliant manager and sticks to his gut and wins games.
I'm gonna revise my pick. I'm taking Bruce. I'm taking Bruce
totally. It'd be stupid not to.
And I'm putting Jim on his staff. I'm signing them both.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, last let's go another one. I got let's talk about just the teams. So who's after 1 week, you got to pick a team to win cup. Who are you taking?
I'm still taking, I think, Columbus. I think they're gonna probably repeat, in my opinion. They only got better from last year, adding like Kevin Molino and Bradley Wright
Yeah,
Phillips
I
in the
mean,
mix.
where did that pick? How do you get a guy like Kevin Molino on that roster?
Honestly, I don't know, but I don't even know where all these guys are going to play half the time. If Caleb can just keep them happy and keep them motivated, I don't see how anybody in the long run will outdo them.
What is Caleb Porter's strong suit, Sal? What is his best asset?
Yeah, he's got a bit of everything. I mean, he carries like the reason why he rubs Gordo the wrong way. He kind of like you feel like you're on his side and it's like us against the world kind of mentality. And I felt that a little bit with Jesse as well. He's not to mention how good he is, tactically. He can kind of also get you motivated to kind of run into a brick wall a little bit. So I think he's got a little bit of both.
Portland?
Yeah, I was with him for a year in Portland. We won. We went to this conference finals and lost to Seattle the year that Seattle lost to Kansas City in the finals in penalties. But yeah, that year was, and that's coming from me who that year I played mainly as a substitute, only started a few games.
You could have every reason.
Yeah,
to be like,
exactly.
He's a jerk, right?
And I think he's a good coach. Is there still stuff he probably needs to work on from like a player management perspective? With young players and things like that, probably. But ultimately, if you want to bring in a coach that is going to win, I think he's the guy, and that's why I think Columbus is the team.
Gordo, did you watch any Major League Soccer this weekend?
Dude, I watched probably more Major League Soccer than I have in years. I don't know what was into me. What is unbelievable, dude? I couldn't believe the goals that I was seeing this week.
Yeah.
I could not believe it, dude. And I'm sitting in the suburbs in Colorado, and these dads have never watched soccer ever, and I'm like, they're just
like, you can juggle it out of the air and volley it from 30 out. You're like, yeah, of course, Jim.
Do that.
They're like, holy smokes, that was awesome. But it was like banger after banger after banger. And I kind of like was just sitting there and I was like, this league, you do it, you kind of do it I've done it every season for the last 4 or 5 years, or maybe, and I've just been like, this is a real league, dude. We got guys that are banging goals that are like, that stuff wasn't happening when we were, when we were talking to Herc about, our day back in the day. I mean, there was a few here and there, but those were the goals of the year. And I think I said it like 4 times this weekend, and it's week
goal of the year.
one.
Yeah, for sure. The goal of the year was Nagby's last year, right? And didn't the kid from Seattle duplicate it and do it better?
He did it.
He did it better.
Out,
it's like, holy Christmas.
Yeah. So
was,
that's the one
amazing.
thing that I took from the weekend. It's a real league. It's a really fun. It's beginning MLS soccer. Let's just be honest. The reason we didn't watch it is because it was terrible. It wasn't that
you didn't watch it.
It wasn't that fun to watch, dude. But like, these games are great.
Yeah,
these games are
I
like,
found myself pretty highly entertained watching them and like getting excited to watch,
Totally.
Inter and Galaxy and all that. Yeah.
It was great, dude. I mean, watching Seattle pump them, and I hate Seattle, but watching Seattle play, it was fun to watch. It was entertaining. I watched the entire game, and the goals were great, and the league's getting really good, and it's awesome, awesome to watch.
All right, so who are you taking? Are you taking anybody? You got to put your money on somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Seattle, dude. Why would I pick against Seattle?
Yeah,
How many times
like
have
that.
they been
I
in
kinda
the
like that.
final lately?
Yeah.
I mean, are they run down now or what?
Then Jordan Morris is hurt a little
Jordan
bit.
Morris is out.
He's out.
That's a
Well, they
big
didn't
team.
have him. They didn't have him yesterday, and they looked really good. Imagine they get him back, or this last week. I mean, they just have a winning culture. They're gonna get there, and it comes down to the final, and the final is anybody's game. So I'm gonna pick. I need LAFC to prove that to me. So I'm gonna take. Who's been doing it. I'm gonna take Seattle, and how much that hurts me.
Dan, I could guess who you're gonna pick.
Okay.
Philadelphia.
Philly. 100%.
No.
No?
No. I listen. I think Philly is a legit team, and I think that they've turned the corner, and they're going to be a consistent franchise, which I think they've earned. But they're not there. They sold too many pieces, and they haven't put enough stock back into it. Now, can you live on magic for an entire year? I think it's really tough to do, and I think that Curtin's got those dudes playing at a high level. They believe in themselves. There's the confidence. There's the swagger. There's all those things, but you still, at the end of the day, you run up against Rui Diaz, and you still have to play against guys like that. And I don't think that they're there yet, but they could be great for the entire year. I could see them winning Supporter Shield again, because I think that the East is probably a little bit softer than the West. And now with the way the schedule is, it's going to be, you're playing primarily conference games. So I think I'm on your team, Sal. I think I'm going Columbus. I think what they've done. They were playing too good last year.
They look
and
good.
then for me, the biggest piece is their best players are still prime players. Like their front three plus Nagby plus Artur, who doesn't even get talked about, plus Jossie. Yeah. I mean, it's just there are too many guys in this team that are guys that are hungry for more, and they're going to win. And they now have tasted the winning. And now, to what you're talking about in terms of Porter, they believe that they can win, and they are, this whole narrative around Columbus is crazy. Like what they've done over the past 3 years, just in terms of the ownership group, and then salvaging the city. And now you got everybody. I mean, all that energy, you can't replicate that. I think it'd be tough to bet against them. So I'm taking them. I also think that New England has a real shot, because I think it's tough to bet against Bruce. And I also think that Bo is a killer. I think he's incredible. And Carlos Hill I think he's probably the best player in the league for me. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And that's my MVP. So that's my second thing. You got an MVP?
Who's the Hill guy? Who does he play for?
Carlos Hill.
Hill. I gotta watch this guy. Which team?
He's next
Philly?
level stuff. Yeah. New England. Revolution.
Right. I'm gonna watch this guy.
Give me your MVPs.
MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I can't see why, if he's healthy all year, why Carlos Vela just can't do it again and just be at least scoring in 20s goals, 20 assists, playing at LAFC, good players around him. I could see him winning again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how. I just can see a very the odds-on favorite, I shall say. I think he has the best chance.
Has there ever been a repeat MVP?
Did Preki win it back to back?
Who won it last year in the
I don't know
short?
the
In the
answer.
short,
We're gonna have to get a fact checker.
who won it in the short year last year? Dan.
Diego Valeri?
Oh, Valeri won last year? No.
Did he really? No.
No.
I honestly don't know, but that.
No, it was. Was it not Vela?
No,
No.
Vela won
He
the
didn't
year
even play.
before.
Year before. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
have to fact check that. Nino, you can trim that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Okay, so then, all right. Who wins the Golden Boot? Does Joseph Martinez score 17 goals, over or under?
Under.
Yeah,
Way
under.
I'm gonna go under. I think he needs to get his body in a little bit better shape.
Yeah.
Before
I think
I
he'll
that.
he'll go in and out of injury.
But I think he'll score. He'll
11.
get it together. I mean, he's Joseph.
He
Martinez.
won't. Yeah, he won't. He
Yeah.
won't be a bust. He'll
No.
score 12, which is respectable.
Yeah.
But he ain't going for 33.
No.
He ain't going for 30, so he ain't breaking 17.
I don't think so. What do you think?
Mm.
Did you see?
Atlanta
He looks
fans-
thick.
Yeah, he looks thick. He
Boy,
does look
looks
thick.
Atlanta fans ain't gonna be happy to hear that, but I think I agree. I don't think he's. Man, I think you got to have another real threat in Atlanta that's going to put balls in the back of the net. And
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen anybody on that team right now who's going to put 10 goals in the back of the net outside of Joseph.
And I think you hit it on the head. It's less about his thickness than it is about him not having Almiron running crazy, and dude, they were wild for those 2 years there. They were so good.
And having a guy like Julian Gressel, who he connected well with, who put perfect balls in the box.
Well, right?
I mean,
so,
he's in DC, so
yeah.
Yeah,
so, I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough for him. I mean,
give him penalties. Penalties, what he'll get 4 or 5 maybe if he's starting at, every game, because he's been coming off the bench lately. But yeah.
All right, so let's stick with the over under. Chicharito, the line for Chicharito, 15.5. Over or under?
Yeah,
I'm going over.
I'm going under.
You're going under, Sal.
I'm going under. Yeah.
Hot start, dude. Hot start. He's a poacher. He's gonna
the fact that he scored 2 in the first game is kind of gives me a little hesitance to say.
I like that.
He's going
I like
under,
that about you.
But I still think, I don't know. I don't know if I believe in like the Galaxy yet. If they are, let's just say this: if they're a playoff team, he's scoring over. But if they're not making the playoffs, he's scoring under.
I'm taking over. I'm taking the over for Chicharito. But I also think that they're gonna win games like 5-4 because their back line is still so bad. Their defense is all over the shop, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't sort it out, but I mean, Vanny's gonna.
Yeah, Vanny's good too. That's another thing. I don't know. I have a feeling
he's not really a defensive-minded guy. He likes to spread it out a little bit, right? But he'll bring you think he'll bring that 3-5-2, 5, turns into a back 5, right? He loves doing that.
I don't know. I don't think he has the personnel to do that. I don't think he's got the players. He don't have the athletes. I don't know. All right. Does David Beckham's Miami team make the playoffs?
No.
Yeah.
How many teams make the playoffs? 6? 8.
8, I believe.
8?
More are making it this year, I believe. I might say yes, because I feel like a lot of teams make it, and what is it? Only 8 teams aren't making it, right?
Yeah.
Or
from each side. What is there on each side? 16? No,
there's 27 total teams, right?
27.
Or am I off? Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I think they squeak in. I think there's some teams in the East that are a little bit below them. I don't know if Montreal is where they are. I know they won, but I don't know if I don't know. Toronto may be interesting to see how well they do. I do believe in Chris Armas, but I don't know if they have the talent there that they've always had.
Was Armas around when you were there?
Yeah, he was at Red Bull with me. Love him to death. I just don't know if they have like the guys there that can get it done, and they have some aging big time players there. So that's another team. DC is another team that's, I don't know if they're there yet. So I don't know. I could see Inter.
They'll be right
Miami
in the mix, dude.
In.
That's a good.
But I could see them being in the mix. Yeah.
I'll go. They got some talent, dude.
Even Red Bull, like you don't know. Red Bull's got a new coach. Like they've made the playoffs all these years. Normally they're shoo-ins for the playoffs, but you don't know that they're going all young players right now.
Dude, New York Red Bull. I'm selling them.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know about Neville. Is he going to be a good coach or not? Like I watch him, and it looks like he's very engaging. He's very engaged, but it's like,
Gordo, we've talked about this. One of like my biggest pet peeves of any player, anybody that's on a field, when they do something and their first look is to the coach. It drives me crazy.
Me too. It drives me crazy with kids too. I see it all the time.
So it drives me bonkers. So I'm watching the game, and I'm watching the Miami Galaxy game, and what happens? But they score their first goal, and who does Neville look at?
Who?
Turns around,
David Beckham,
looks up to the stands, and goes like this to David Beckham.
Oh, that's painful,
dude. I was like, oh my God, what was that? What was that? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Dude, that's so bad. Could you imagine me doing that to you?
Oh.
Yes. We did it.
Yes.
No, it's bad. Like I see his antics on the field. It looks like he's young. You know, it looks like he's a young coach.
Gordo, were you in Galaxy in 2014 or no?
Yeah.
Were you oh no, sorry, 2013. Were you there?
No.
Okay. There was one game where we were with Portland and John Spencer had just been fired and Gavin, who is the GM, took over. And it was the game where Beckham scored the bender and kind of just like looked up and gave like a shrug to Keane, you know, that game.
Yeah.
And we went up 1-0 in that game. And it was right after our coach had been fired, and Gavin did that. He looked up to Merritt, our owner, and was like, yeah.
No.
And then we
you
just
guys
got pumped 5-1, just like Beckham scoring. Keane doing his cartwheels. Dude, it was madness.
He was doing his cartwheels.
Yeah, it was madness.
That's great.
Oh my God. All right. Are you buying Greg Vanny's LA Galaxy? Have the LA Galaxy figured it out?
No, I don't think they have. They're not going to be a top third team. I think they'll be right in the middle. I think they're going to go through a stretch where they're going to get pumped. Like you said, you know, their defense isn't strong enough. You know, they go on the road, difficult to score, and they don't look that dangerous to me. You know, they can win at the Galaxy Stadium. Pitch is huge. They know how to play there, but you start going on the road, you gotta, you know, you just need a little bit more. So I think they'll be teetering. I think they'll be right there with Miami, you know, on the other side, you know, just fighting to get in. I really do.
For me, roster as is, I think they're like Gordo said, like a fringe playoff team. But I also don't think that's going to be acceptable for their owners or their club. I think that if at any point during the season and maybe even soon, I think they're getting a few more good players to add to that team.
They just bought the 2 wingers, right?
Okay,
which
yeah.
No one's really seen yet. I mean, those are 2 big expenditures, which you got to see if they work with Chicharito.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, right? At this point, it's live or die on Chicha.
Yeah, I think they're like around 4 in the West, 4 or 5.
And I do think that's dangerous to live and die by Chicharito. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing that I saw last year when he was struggling is there was so much pressure, and I liked his interview and everything, but it was almost like everybody felt that pressure, you know, like they were trying to get him a goal, you know, like, and when they shouldn't, it wasn't flowing. It was like they were forcing it, you know, because they needed him to get a goal, you know, and and it didn't work. He's just not that player. He needs to be the guy that everybody's worried about everybody else. And he nicks a goal here, you know, and he nicks a goal there because you forget about him. And I just don't know if they have that talent.
All right. Last one for you. Is Minnesota United for real?
Me? I'm going to say no.
Sal.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they're going to make the biggest regression from the West. And I may even say that.
And you may even go.
I may even go as far to say as
they're the first team to get relegated out of that.
their coach could be on the hot seat, in my opinion.
What? No, I actually.
Yeah, I think so. Mark my words that I think there'll be a big regression in Minnesota.
I think Heath is super tight with the owner. I think he's turning around and giving them this one. You know,
maybe. Okay, if that's the case, I didn't know that, but
I think they're really tight. I think he would have already been canned, but I don't disagree with you. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know more about them than I should, and you know, I shouldn't, because they didn't look great.
To be honest, I always thought they were overachieving. To be fair,
they were. They got on a hot run. I think it was a hot run. I'm with you, Sal. 100%. It was a hot run.
I don't understand I don't get how their stock. I feel like they're a bubble stock. I feel like all of a sudden somebody said that they were hot and nobody else had any original ideas, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, they're the best team in the league." And now all of a sudden everyone's like, "Yeah,
Minnesota's
great."
They're GameStop. Minnesota's GameStop.
GameStop.
They're their time is kind of stalled a little bit, and I think we could see a bubble bursting, like you said.
Is Robin Fraser going to do it in Colorado?
I'd also have to say no, just because the resources there. Just until like they start spending some money over there, I don't see it changing in Colorado, no matter what coach you put in.
Yeah, I don't see it. I haven't seen the influx of talent or anything like that saying that they're going to do it. And you know as well as anybody, it doesn't even have to be about Robin Fraser. It's tough to win in Colorado.
Like, it's tough for me to name a few guys on their roster at this point, which means, I mean,
yeah, the organization, is just not putting, it's not helping them out a little at all, right? So it's going to be an uphill battle for anybody to win here. It was quite the task that they won here in 2010, but they did it. I mean, but
it's a
MLS,
different time.
It was a different time, and that's it. Those times are leaving us because these power clubs are being built, and that's why you see Seattle constantly in the mix.
Yeah.
They're either losing the MLS Cup or winning it. It seems like,
It's pretty wild.